Hello, everybody, and welcome back to these interviews sessions that we have at Automation Star 2025, reporting from Amsterdam. And if you hear that it's a little bit noisy, there are so many events happening. I think the keynote just ended, and people are coming out of it. Wait, keynote half day? Yes, Automation Star runs differently. But now I have another awesome thought leader, and truly a thought leader, presenter, international speaker, and triathlon competitor. I don't know how to define it. Marathonist,
Past marathon.
past marathon, but triathlonist. Who knows? Lewis Prescott. Yay! I was trying to. Hello, amigo. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you.
I'm very happy to have this opportunity indirectly. I mean, we were talking off camera. Luis has been like someone that I never met, but I heard a lot from him because we have a friend in common, Marie Cruz. Hello, Marie. Hope you're tuning in. Most probably, I think if she saw this, she's tuning.
Yeah,
Marie,
definitely.
hello. And they collaborated earlier in a book. Marie is a good friend of mine. We used to work together, and that's how I know about Luis. But before, I don't want to get further into it or spoil it. Luis, would you mind sharing to the audience who you are, what do you do, what makes you special?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Lewis. I'm a QA lead by trade. I've been doing this for around 10 years and been active in the community for most of that time. Found my niche in contract testing and wrote the book with Marie. Um, but yeah, I I manage teams, and I stay mainly in the healthcare space now. But I've been at multiple different companies, domains. I worked for a large online retailer. I worked for a charity. I've done lots of different things, consultancy as well. And so, yeah, I've kind of plied my trade and often implemented contract testing, which is the main driver for me being here at Automation Star, running the workshop this morning. So that was very nerve-wracking, but
Yeah, really.
I'm really glad at how it went. So yeah,
It went well.
it went well. It was a big group, and so that was quite intimidating. But I had loads of interaction and loads of questions. So yeah, I gauge it on that really.
I believe that your tutorial was one of the sessions that was booked out, right? Like
Yeah, they were
completely.
all booked out. All of them were booked out. Yeah, so really, really good attendance here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that you present this tutorial.
Yes, this one. Yeah. So myself and Marie did. We did one at Test Bash, but that was only an hour and a half, and so this was double the time. So yeah, there was a lot more that I packed in today.
But it's cool that you are limited by just 1 hour and a half, and with more time you could go further. I'm guessing.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Even there was stuff that I didn't get to today,
Really.
but yeah.
So you
I
need
think
like a full day tutorial now.
in contract testing, maybe. I'm not
Cool.
sure I would want to commit to a full day, but yeah, half
We
day
may
was
convince
enough.
him. We may convince him.
Maybe
Let's
one day.
give it a try.
Maybe with
Uh,
Marie, maybe.
Uh, Marie,
Yeah.
he is already kind of like putting it together.
Yeah.
It's not overruled, so
No.
let's see. Now, amigo Luis, you mentioned that you started on contract testing,
I started
or
early
how
on.
did it?
I started early, so I got introduced to it at one of the first startups that I worked at by the CTO there, Ica. And he just sent me a video like, this is contract testing from another conference. I don't recall which one, but he sent me the link, and I was like, I have no clue what this is. Like, what is this? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand how we would implement it. And then I joined another company. I joined ASOS, the like online clothing company, and my manager there was like, "Yeah, you should do it. Like, start implementing it, rolling it out here." And so Neil was the ambassador for it there. And so it just started, and then started working out as I was going along. But yeah, that was quite early, and then I just started blogging about it, writing about it, talking to Marie about it, and then just took it to conferences.
What is the title of your book?
So it's called Contract Testing in Action, and we went with Manning Publications
Yeah.
in the end. And yeah, it gives that kind of end-to-end journey and lots of real-life examples in there.
If I do my work well, later in the description of this video, you will see a link to the book so that you can get it, find it, and give it a read. It's really important. We're going to get into that.
Mm.
I think that contract validation is kind of like an underappreciated trade in the QA realm
Yeah.
that many organizations do not know that they should be doing it.
Yeah.
Would you mind talking a little bit about why
Sure.
is it important that people do contract testing? What can happen if they don't?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you say, it's like lots of people are talking about it and talking about the prospect of doing it. So contract testing is that communication tool. And me and Baz say the same thing. It's a communication tool, which just applies the technical framework to it. And so when you have integration issues in your deployed environment, it's often too late. Like, you've already released the change, you've already developed the code, it's already too late. And so you then have complex conversations of how can we deploy this thing? We've put in all this time and effort. Like, how do we coordinate this thing? And so contract testing really provides you with that tooling to be able to do it earlier. So you're doing those contract validations, you're doing that integration testing, but just earlier in the flow. And so it sits alongside your unit tests, so you can run them independently. There's no dependencies. It's just, if you're working towards continuous integration, continuous delivery, contract testing fits really nicely into that, especially if you're implementing microservices where you've got lots of integration points. That's where the true value hits.
It, if I mean, I know many organizations that do not even know what is or even think of contract testing,
No.
contract validation. Uh, what are the outcomes? What can happen if something goes wrong and you didn't look
Yeah.
for it?
So imagine you've got multiple consumers. So you've got a web app, you've got a mobile app, you've got another service which is dependent on that information. So the example where I first started implementing it was user data, right? So many services rely on that information, your address, your payment details, all that kind of thing. So many services rely on that information, and they all require a different piece of that information. So imagine you've got that scenario and then you want to change it. Right, that's very challenging to work out what the impact is going to be. And fundamentally, we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We all think, oh, okay, I know my service. I've got these tests and they're all passing. So if I deploy this change, it's all going to be fine. But actually, in reality, that's not the case. We all make mistakes and we change a value, or we think something's not being used in the way that it is. We change a string to an integer, or we change something from an object to an array of objects. Like, we think things are going to be fine, and actually they're not. And so that's exactly where contract testing comes in. And that's what I say to teams is, don't start implementing it until you have that one thing happen. Because otherwise you're going to over-engineer it, or you're going to implement it when you don't need to. But the companies will really truly see the value of it once they hit that issue.
I mean, that's the story of QA in general, right?
Yeah.
Most organizations underappreciated, do not want to invest. But with contract testing, I think it's a big problem of just awareness.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even know, like, when this type of errors happen, like, I don't know, a parameter type,
Yeah.
it changes and now it's, I don't know, an array instead of a matrix, or
Yeah.
just being silly. You don't even have an idea that that could have been like checking that it was like it was not validated. It's not matching
Yeah.
anymore. And I know of some organizations that it took them like months to figure out that that
Mm.
little change that they're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, now it's better to have like, and I think it applies. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just a string changing in length that may impact some
Yeah.
areas, and
Absolutely.
you're breaking the system.
Yeah.
Uh, I know of some. My sister,
Hmm.
she has three names, and in Mexico we have two last names, so
Right.
it's a very long string
Yeah.
to store on
Yeah.
databases. So she's a walking defect. I mean, don't tell her that. IT defect about to happen on many
Yeah.
organizations, and she has gotten that like all her three names go in the first name field,
Yeah.
and suddenly it's truncated,
Yeah.
or it was working well and they do an update in the
Yeah.
database.
Yeah.
One time she comes by and like, hey, they couldn't print my license card in the US
Mm.
because suddenly my name is kind of like incomplete. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean incomplete?
Yeah.
It died like in 15 characters long and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, why would they? And she was asking, and someone told her like, yeah, because all those letters do not fit on the card.
Yeah.
Oh, but why would they also update the database? And that
Yeah.
created all sorts of issues.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah.
And you don't know who is affected. You don't know what may happen.
Yeah.
And with this type of tests,
Yeah.
you may go avoid making my sister being called a defect. But
Yeah.
she will laugh at this. I'm sure she's not tuning in, but she knows, brothers. Um, so, what would you recommend? Would you recommend people to get into contract validation, learn it, understand it?
Mm.
QA in general, the community, is it
Yeah.
important?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to say so to so that people buy the book. But no, I think there's certain use cases where you want to go after it, right? If you want to move quickly, then you want something like contract testing because, as you say, it's much easier to debug. It's much easier to find the issues. You're finding the issues before you deploy it to an environment, so it's much quicker feedback. The loop is much quicker. If you've got a monolith and it's very small and you own the whole thing, don't you don't need contract testing. It will just be overkill. Um, but when you've got messages, like if you've got an event-driven architecture where you're passing around lots of events and objects, that's a perfect scenario for it because you need to keep that consistency and it can get complicated very quickly. So if you want to simplify things, if you want systems to move quicker and faster, this is your opportunity to do that. But it definitely doesn't fit in every case.
Yeah, it's really important. But some areas, when you have those changes that you were mentioning, or the integrations, or in particular situations, what I feel like critical element is going to be like, when is it important and
Yeah,
when is not? And it's
yeah,
very context sensitive,
yeah,
random, even I would say. But definitely, I think it's crucial to have someone on the team that has at least an understanding
mm,
of what can happen.
yeah.
And what would you say are things that a QA engineer that is interested in getting into contract validation should learn, should do, other than
Mm.
attending your tutorials and
Yeah,
reading the book?
yeah,
But what would you recommend anyone looking into or interested in it?
yeah. So if you're coming from a traditional integration testing environment, whether you're using Postman or you're using Rest Assured, anything like that, then that's a perfect scenario to kind of switch. It's very much a mindset shift because it's flipped in terms of you're not writing the tests. The the web application, the mobile app, the front end application, they're writing the tests and you're just replaying them. So it does flip in terms of mentality shift, but that's a good transition to be able to kind of endorse it and make it happen. And then if you're doing it in those scenarios, you can do the same process. You don't have to adopt a framework for it. You apply the same process, and then you can start migrating things over. Smart Bear now has an AI agent which you can migrate tests over with. You can use Copilot and chuck in the Smart Bear agent, and it will kind of scaffold the test for you. So there's lots more shortcuts now to getting started with it, and you don't have to kind of start from scratch.
That's a very good recommendation. Of course, listen at the recommendations. AI is not taking your job. It's going to make it easier for you to embrace contract validation, to test it, to make sure that these things go well. But now that you bring up AI,
Yeah.
does AI has contract requirements, contract validations to implement well?
So the way that I see it going a lot more, and we're having this conversation at the end of my workshop, was around the kind of acceptance test driven approach. And so as many tests as you can put into that process will enable you to build the thing that you wanted to build in the first place, and you've got the gates to facilitate that process. So I see that being much more of a direction that you would take. And so obviously if we put in a feature and got it scaffold off the test, that would be from a front end perspective, from a user's perspective. But then we can layer those contract tests on top in the intermediary points, right, where the systems talk to each other. Then we can say, we can create the acceptance test for this service needs to communicate with this service in this way, and layering on top of those test-driven approaches. I think that's the direction I see it going personally.
No, I do agree. And it's interesting because you're giving me the perspective on it's like a QA mindset on what to do around all the processes that we're going to have to deal with AI, or we are already dealing, like integrating and the MCPs and putting. What was the latest one? A2A,
Right.
and it's gonna be really important that you keep your QA engineer, contract validator hat on place with AI, implementing it, integrating it, and using it for testing.
Yeah.
I like that perspective. And I think that there are many other things that will keep popping up, and the relevance is just going to grow, in my opinion.
Yeah, same.
But now, to wrap up, would you like to share some words to the audience? This is your billboard. Like, what would you say? Like, you have lots of QA engineers looking for knowledge. What would you want to share with them?
Well, yeah, obviously check out the book. Make sure you check out Contract Testing in Action. And all of Marie's stuff. Marie's doing some great stuff at Grafana as well. So definitely want to give a shout out to that. And also Dave Farley, who's giving a keynote here. He's doing some really great stuff around the AI stuff. This is where I'm getting the ideas about the acceptance test driven stuff. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking his stuff out as well, because yeah, that's the direction that I see things going. And yeah, it's a scary time, right, to be in our industry. It's a scary time looking for a job, scary time in terms of the landscape is moving so quickly, and I'm scared. I think that's important to share, is that, like, yeah, I'm running a workshop here, but
who knows in 2 years what is going to happen?
It's going to be a completely different ball game. So I think that's important to share as well. Like, it's not all plain sailing for the people that are been in this space for 10 years. So it's a really tough market.
10 years, that's very far. Yeah, that's hard to even imagine what is going to happen. In the last 2 years, it has been so much.
It's been mad.
And it's going to be even more and faster.
But yeah, there's loads of good people talking about it, and like, there's, as you said, I think like testing is actually going to be even more important, and it's super important to keep that front of mind and make sure that QA have a voice at the table in those conversations.
Yeah, voice and the prompt chat, really important, really important. With that, Luis, where can people find the book,
Mhm.
find about you, follow up with what you're doing, and what you're gonna be, the next books that you're gonna know. We're kidding.
Yeah, never again. Yeah, so obviously follow me on LinkedIn, um, and check out the contract testing in action on Manning's website, um, and all other retailers. And then, yeah, just follow along.
Yep. Make sure to subscribe, follow up Luis on LinkedIn. His name's here. And we're going to add the link for the book, the Manning site, that you can check it out, buy it. I think you can buy a electronic version right away with
Electronic
Manning, right?
version, yep.
And that's awesome because if you don't want the hassle of the brick in your hands, or if you like the brick in your hands,
Yeah.
some of us do like it, but it's hard to carry around, so
Yeah.
it's like a double-edged sword. But amigo Luis, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure, and congratulations on the book. I know it has been successful. Marie, hola, congratulations on the book as well. And I look forward to seeing what is going to be coming up with contract validation and
Same.
the latest changes.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
And there you have it, another area of QA that you need to be paying lots of attention, because if you don't have the knowledge, you may not know where is the problem or the defect, or you're going to have an interesting time, you or your team or the organization. But knowledge like this is not done yet. We're going to get much more soon. I think we have one more today, one more interview today. Stay tuned, because it's about to start in a few minutes. With this, we will stop this one, and we'll be back in a few minutes. With this, Leandro out, Luis out. Adios, amigo. Take care.
Adios.